Hello, my name is Ottomagic Critic, and I am a complete failure of life who should be thrown from the top of the Seattle Sky Needle and into a giant pitiful poisonous oak, and then I should have more horrible things happen to me, whether it be through a giant— oh shit, wrong video. Well, hello there everyone, Group Pickles here, and thank you for coming to my TED Talk about how using social media damages the fabric of civilization, as we know it based on a few funnies I've found in Facebook. Today we will be taking a look at a video made by CoolDudeClem, who in 2014, long time ago by the way, made a rant video on profanity. Yes, you've heard it here folks, profanity. Now usually, people who are between the ages of 16 to 40-something generally don't have a problem with profanity. At most they would just overlook it in an informal setting, but apparently, this guy along with Dr. Late and I are one of the remaining people that do. If any of you know your YouTube history, people who rant on profanity in any way are generally not received well, given the fact that the people who rant on profanity are usually perceived to have a sheltered mindset, so I honestly have a feeling that the video from the topic alone would fall flat on its face. For those of you who don't know who CoolDudeClem is, he's basically a guy who in his main channel makes videos on electronics and a bunch of other stuff. If you are from the Speakonia community, you probably know him for making a video with Microsoft Sam confronting some Linux voices long ago. He also has a channel which is dedicated to ranting on various topics, like the usage of cell phones for instance. He again also did a rant on profanity, which coincidentally enough is the exact video we're commentating on. Anyway, I have nothing more to say as an introduction, so let's just cut the shit. Whoops.
Hello there, it's—
Hello little boy, my name is your generic Halo fanboy, and I am really gay. I like to jack off to Masturbator Chief, because he is the sexiest man in the universe, sexier than real people, simply because he is Master Chief. When I got Halo 3 Legendary Edition I had an instant orgasm over the sight of my Master Chief helmet. Oh shit, wrong video again. Also, gotta love the fact that he's posting screenshots of tails on his wall, in a similar fashion of what Matthew Davis used to do.
Fuck this show.
It's CoolDudeClem.
Cool dude what?
Anyway, I'm going to be ranting on something today, and I'm doing it in this new animated style. See how well that works.
I mean, to be honest, the animation is alright for what it is. I mean, you even have your own defense mechanism in addition to that.
And today I'm going to be talking about something I absolutely hate.
Pomegranates.
If you haven't guessed from the title, I'm going to be talking about, or rather ranting about, swearing. Something that we could all do without, something that I think is completely unnecessary, and something I think we would be way better off if nobody did it.
To quote John Cena,
Are you sure about that?
I mean, if everyone tomorrow all of a sudden collectively decided to stop saying shitness, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker and tits, I am pretty sure there will be a lot more issues that would still proceed. Radical Islamists and the likes really don't need to say any of those to spread their misery. Also, saying that swearing is completely unnecessary is a pretty bold statement to make considering the possible circumstances. Steven Pinker gave an analysis in the 5 possible functions of swearing. One of these functions can be referred to as abusive, which deals with offending people or generally causing psychological harm. Cathartic, which deals with responding emotionally to pain. Dysphomistic, which can be used to convey that the person thinks negatively of the subject matter. Emphatic, which is used to draw attention to what is worth paying attention. And idiomatic, which generally deals with an informal setting. Knowing this, they are all serving their own respective purposes, so, if you're implying that they are completely unnecessary, you then disregard all the circumstances and where they can work and have always worked. Besides, what if you are really angry and you still want to get your point across? For instance, oh my god, why the fuck would you kill that child, you son of a bitch? It is much more effective than replacing the swearing with pointless euphemistic language like why the heck and son of a gun, because in situations like this, it would look like you'd rather preserve your facade of politeness rather than focus in what's really important.
And I know I'm going to have to prepare for the endless death threats I'm going to get after I upload this.
Fortunately you disabled the ratings and the comments in the video, so I take it as your way of preparing for the endless amounts of mean trolls sending you grounded threats and the likes.
But I mean, come on. Why do you get so mad just because somebody out there doesn't like profanities?
You know, I would imagine that you forced someone not to swear in a conversation, and that ended up annoying that person, because you'd rather focus on policing their language rather than analyzing the substance of what they are saying.
I get mad when I hear profanities. It hits me like a 10-ton truck.
Damn, if that's the case then that 10-ton truck really hit you good. I mean, if you look closely it nearly decomposed half of your right hand. Holy shit, I mean smokes. Forget the pandemic we're facing right now. If we can just imagine the power we can harness through cursing, I think we might accustom ourselves to godhood.
I don't know why you like it so much.
Just imagining his perception of the average person who likes cursing is pretty amusing. Daddy, please keep cursing. It's making me
Sure, I can understand if you drop something on your foot or something blows up in your face or something like that, but
Wait, I thought you said that the world would be better off if no one cursed whatsoever. Now you're saying that you'd understand only if we use it for cathartic relief? I mean, if you'd have any idea or principle behind the topic at hand, you would also make this no exception, because, as you've said before, cursing shows no additional purpose and it is completely unnecessary. Keyword, completely.
really? Using it in everyday speech? Just why?
Okay, who the hell uses it in everyday speech? Sure, I would imagine them at most using cursing for idiomatic and informal purposes, but I don't think they use it in everyday language, like having a chat with your boss or going to a little kid's birthday party. Hello you stupid fucking children, my name is Bub the shit-eating cocksucking butt fucking clown.
Some people, when I tell them they shouldn't swear, they either get really mad at me, for absolutely no explained reason whatsoever.
Yes, because it is not your place in policing other people's language, especially when you both are grown adults in idiomatic or even emphatic situations.
Or they try the oldest trick in the book and try to prove me wrong.
Wait, what? How the hell is proving someone wrong the oldest trick in the book? How is it even a trick? I am proving that you're incorrect based on knowledge that I conceived before the conversation. Where's the trick?
Well, it's freedom of speech, innit?
You know, I wouldn't worry about this guy using curse words all that much given the potential health risks that this guy is being susceptible to given the cigarette hanging about in his mouth.
No! Freedom of speech has nothing to do with it. Freedom of speech is about voicing your own opinions like I'm doing right now.
Gotta be honest here, that point is actually not that bad. But given the context of what you would do in the situation, like telling them not to swear, then it would be understandable for these people to bring that up despite its inaccuracy.
It has nothing to do with whether you swear or not. And some people say that swearing helps you get your point across.
Well, it can to an extent. If you recall the 5 types of potential usages of swearing, one of them is called dysphomistic swearing and emphatic swearing, which essentially covers getting your point across. But then again, that would only depend depending on the severity of the context.
Listen, you could substitute the F word for heck, and it would still be just as effective and you wouldn't be swearing.
Again, that would only depend in the potential severity of the situation. If you substitute fuck with heck in some scenarios, you would be perceived as someone who has to be squeaky clean at the expense of what's really important, and it would generally not look or sound right.
And these people also believe that swearing makes you look cool, smart, and sophisticated.
Who the hell would imply that swearing makes you look cool, smart, and sophisticated? Maybe cool, because many people would use it once again in an idiomatic sense, but who the hell would imply that they make you look sophisticated? If I think of someone who would be sophisticated, the last thing I would imagine would be him fucking swearing like a fucking sailor, like I did just now.
Well, I'm smart enough to know that's not true. I have an IQ of 159 for heck's sake.
Well, I have the IQ of 60. Wait, what, 159? Impossible, considering that only 0.1% of the population have that type of IQ. Here, the IQ tests you see online only measure one aspect of your cognitive ability, so I wouldn't depend in them all that much for answers. As if I'd relied in them at all. Believe me, IQ test results may vary depending on the many aspects like how many hours you sleep, the environment, etc.
I don't need to swear because I know what I'm talking about. So swearing doesn't make you look cool. It doesn't make you look smart. It doesn't make you look sophisticated. It doesn't make you look like you know what you're talking about. All it does is make you look like an unlikable jerk.
As well as the 5 possible usages of these words.
Although since that's what most people are these days, I guess that makes sense. As a matter of fact, I've noticed that people who swear out loud are more aggressive and violent than people who don't. I've observed this with my own eyes. And my own ears, obviously.
Sources, dude, trust me. Alright, I am glad that you've noticed that, along with the vague graph you are displaying with very little facts or rationale behind it, and is therefore open to many possible different interpretations. But, even if we were to consider the graph you are presenting here is true, it's more like swearing is just a byproduct of people being violent, not the other way around. If we were to consider the 5 usages of swearing, abusive swearing could correctly fit the description you are presenting here. But what about the other usages of swearing? Are they violent as well?
I can remember way back when almost nobody swore. And if you did cuss, you were considered a bad person and nobody would want to be near you. It was practically a utopia back then. People, generally, were a lot nicer back then.
When was this? The 16th century? I'm sorry, but no time zone past the Second World War in Western civilization ever had societies where no one cursed, and it was practically a sin to do something contrary to that. Your family does not represent the greater whole of society, unless, if you're that old, and you've lived through that specific time period.
These days, however, the entire world has appeared to have gone completely insane.
We live in a society, and coincidentally enough, how things turned out the way it did was when I left my parents' house for the first time.
It's considered weird if you don't swear.
Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies, rivers and seas boiling, 40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes, the dead rising from the grave, human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Sorry, I got a little carried away even with my emotionless and monotone text-to-speech software. Once again, it depends on the circumstances on whether or not it's weird not to swear, so no one is necessarily implying that it's weird not to swear.
Worst still, if you tell anybody you hate profanities, then you're considered the worst person alive! How dare you say anything against swearing? You just committed the worst crime of the century! You're no longer a functional member of society! You should be locked away in a dungeon somewhere, never to see the light of day again!
Jesus, what kind of people do you hang out with? Who in the name of Bob Barker, Bob Saget, Bob Dole outside of the internet acts like this when confronted with people who hate swearing? I have a feeling that you're exaggerating the actual conversation between you in your peers. At worst, they might think that you have a sheltered mindset, but that's really it. I don't know, I live in 2020, where things like this would be a byproduct of post-ironic meme culture. The only thing that I think would come close to what you're describing would be post-go anime types, who in 2015 had a massive hate boner for Hamad Ajam, mostly people in the former NODD community, but that's basically it really.
Give me a break! What is so bad about hating profanities? Why don't you understand that swearing is bad? It's one of the worst things you can be exposed to.
Yeah guys, why don't people respect my opinions on swearing? I don't know why these people are so mad. I mean, can't we just let bygones be bygones for a moment here? Oh, and by the way, you should understand that swearing is bad, and I won't rest until you stop doing it. I sense that there is a paradox here. I can't put my finger on it.
And another thing that really gets my goat these days is that people actually expect to hear swearing, especially on YouTube videos.
Here's my theory. YouTube is mostly run by individuals, and therefore generates an informal atmosphere onto the site, so you are more likely going to come across YouTubers who swear more often, especially in video game reviews.
Well, sorry to get your hopes up, but there isn't going to be any swearing on this video.
Well shit, for a second there I thought you would be swearing like a sailor and constantly throwing around F-bombs willy-nilly. I mean, the title clearly gave out the description a little bit, but I was foolish into believing that. Thanks for the tip.
If you want swearing so much, go and watch frickin' Mashima or something.
Good idea. I am going to mash my mom now. Wait, that's not what you said. Man, I'm hard of hearing today. Wait, did you just say friggin'? That's a bad word, and that hurts my fifis.
And now, consider for a moment a video on YouTube. A video that's really bad in just about every way possible. Terrible content, terrible quality. Normally that would get a ton of dislikes, but if the video has swearing in it, that automatically makes it good and everybody likes it.
Holy hell, this video is old. I mean, just look at the default profile pic as well as the square display of said profile pic. Here, let's just take a look at one comment out of 1,000 and then treat it as if it's the general consensus of the entire comment section. I don't even know what the video is or what it is even about, and the only way I can interpret what the original video is the user that replied to it, but other than that I can't entirely gather how it can fit your description. Also, I think your theory that cursing saves the video from being bad doesn't add up correctly. Pimpin' Master DX, say what you want about him ironically now, back then would have content that would be considered bad, even during the time of 2014, when this video was made.
Because everybody today is completely crazy.
Clown world meme anyone. Otto, that's a racist white supremacist dog whistle and viewing employment ought to be held accountable for partaking in fringe ideologies by posting these memes.
And only cares about swearing. Really, that's all they want. I don't know why YouTube just doesn't change its name to F-bomb tube and have done with it.
Funny, usually people would overlook the amount of swear words being presented in YouTube, so they would be the last people to come to the conclusion that they only care about swear words.
While we're at it, let's just have people who upload videos where the only words said are swear words.
You can't be serious. Some call me funky. Wow.
I mean, they practically do that now.
Welcome to 2016, my friend.
Anyway, I'm going to show some comments now. And I'm going to blank out the swear words because I'm not going to have that filth on my channel, or any of my channels. But just looking at these comments is going to give you an idea of just how bad the YouTube community is for swearing.
Again, usually people would overlook all of this, so you wouldn't find anyone who would consider this noteworthy, but alas. Also, I am skipping the comments, because really I have nothing worth a thing to say about them, just a bunch of little kids and normal people who don't seem to swear too often, and it's one of the only instances where they feel the need to do such. Refer to the 5 functions of swearing, my friend.
And now let's take a look at some screenshots of YouTube channels that show up in my recommendations and things like that. But I have edited the name of the channel, or the description of the channel, to reflect what the channel is really like. And let's face it, if the people who made these channels were being completely honest about themselves, this is what they would actually say.
Yes, what these channels are really like is not the reviewing and commentary techniques, or the overall content of the channels. No, if they swear even for 2 or more times throughout the video, that just about sums up the entire general consensus of the entire channel. It's not like that the millions of people on YouTube would overlook the potty language. I mean, why do reviewers have that big of a fan base regardless? Also, notice that a lot of the channels or videos you showcase are mainly reviewing or gaming related content. This is only one part of YouTube out of a million, so your theory that YouTube is just nuts over swearing could somewhat be disproven given the vast diversity of content on YouTube. Alina Productions liked 4 videos. He especially liked the video on the left, as it has lots of swearing. Typical YouTuber. Wow, you're even bashing on other people for simply liking videos with swearing. Man, for a person who asks why people are disrespecting you for hating swearing, you are kind of disrespectful to people who think differently on the matter. What if the person didn't just like it because it has swearing on it, but just the overall absurd situations and general hilarity of angry grandpa? Ever considered that? No one is going around YouTube looking for videos only for the massive amounts of F-bombs being said, and when they do find it they will go, well, this guy said the F-bomb, I must automatically hit the like button and subscribe for more. If you have that type of mentality, you would only turn off to the possibility of the other reasons for liking that video.
Yes, it's very difficult to find good videos on YouTube where I don't get bombarded by the F-bomb. Sometimes I will be brave and venture out into the unknown. So I click on a video that looks interesting.
Top 10 sexiest animated women. Well,
the first minute might go by, nothing bad really happening.
Alright, if this video gets 100 likes I will automatically make this my channel backdrop.
Then all of a sudden out of the blue the F-bomb drops, spoiling what could have been a really good video. Swearing spoils my entertainment. I just cannot enjoy a video if it has swearing in it.
Really? Usually it would take a lot more than just one F-bomb to completely ruin a video at the expense of being open to the other positive aspects of said video. But whatever, to each their own I guess.
And it's not even like these videos are hard to find. I was watching a Vsauce video the other day because I'm into science and philosophy and things like that.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
Not to mention it's one of the very few channels that actually doesn't swear.
Did you know that Vsauce made a video asking why bad words are bad? This is where I learned about the aforementioned 5 functions of swearing, as stated earlier.
But look what shows up in the suggestions next to it. Why? Just why?
Okay, mind explaining to me why Nicki Minaj has to do with the topic you're ranting on?
Not to mention that those videos have absolutely nothing in common. Why would you suggest that, YouTube? No, wait, don't answer that. I'll edit the screenshot to say what you really wanted to say.
We chose the explicit version because, as this is YouTube, everyone here loves swearing. Or maybe it's because Nicki Minaj is yet another pop star, and is therefore more susceptible to being rewarded by the algorithm. Could be that. Wait, hold in, some stupid whore. Did you seriously just say whore? You know, I could be wrong. The word whore could in some cases be considered a swear word. If that were the case, then you've pretty much contradicted yourself right there.
If I was running YouTube, I would certainly make a few changes. One change I would make, and make sure it gets done, is to ban profanity. Also, I would make it possible to flag videos that contain it. All it would take is one flag, then that video would get reviewed, and if it does indeed contain profanity, that video would get immediately taken down, along with a strike placed on the uploader's account. And yes, I know that change would annoy a lot of people, but it would be for the better, because I believe YouTube should be family friendly.
Why? Now look, simply banning profanity on YouTube and being done with it altogether would not be that simple. If you really wanted to get rid of videos that contain profanity, there's going to be a black market for these type of videos, and would therefore contain more profanity more than usual, and it would be far from something that would be worth overlooking for the average YouTube user. Imagine a profanity mafia, if you will. The reason that racially or rather ideologically charged YouTube videos are not allowed is because videos like that would either get someone killed, promote terrorism, or would subvert public opinion into accepting the mistreatment of minorities or what have you. The reason why sexual content is not allowed in YouTube is that YouTube is not a pornographic website, and if YouTube all of a sudden allow it onto the site, there would be an influx of sexual content because of people's natural fixation with sex at the expense of everyone else. YouTube needs to diversify its vast ocean of content and not have to deal with that. The reason why swearing on the other hand is allowed into the site is that swearing can fit snugly into the rest of YouTube videos and it would not intervene in the influx of new content being made every day. What sets racism and sexual content from videos with swearing is that these two topics are their own category, and cannot fit snugly into regular YouTube videos without it in and of itself being part of that same category or label. Even if we were to use the think of the children argument, if a child were to come across a video with swearing and start repeating those words in real life, the parents would simply tell the child not to say the words, or would get reprimanded because of it, and the child wouldn't say those words again until reaching a certain age. Easy peasy, I must say. However, if a child were to come across a video with sexual content or come across a video promoting fringe ideologies like white supremacy or Islamic terrorism, that could have an impact on either the child's psyche or radicalize said child, and it could take time for them to recover from it, maybe even a lifetime. What I am trying to say is, if you are so prepared to get rid of swearing on YouTube, it is a losing battle, because swearing affects no one, unlike the two aforementioned topics. Besides, if someone wanted to watch pornographic content, they would go to websites like Pornhub and RedTube. Not RedTube, you pinko commies, I said RedTube. If you banned swearing on YouTube, you wouldn't imagine there to be an alternative website like FBonTube. That wouldn't make any sense. I don't watch YouTube just for swearing, I watch it to be entertained, like most people in the site.
Anyway, I'm gonna wrap things up now.
Well, we still have a few minutes left on the video, so...
I'm going to have to disable the ratings because of all the profanity worshippers out there.
You know, just imagining what it would be like if profanity worship was a thing is kind of fun. Here, I'm a profanity worshipper. Now usually people would not use profanity mainly because of its vulgar nature. I on the other hand can't use profanity simply because, if I use them in vain, the profanity gods would smite me in the mouth, and a bar of soap would appear in my mouth. During our rituals we would sacrifice a goat in front of an obelisk of the angry video game nerd and John Tron, and then we would scream a bunch of catchphrases of those YouTubers. An example would be what a shitload of fuck, and after that I would drink the goat's blood, and then I would go on YouTube and immediately give all the videos that say the word fuck, shit, damn, ass, and tits and all a thumbs up, and I would subscribe in accordance to the ritual.
And I don't know why these words are bad, it's never been explained.
Really? If that's the case, then the whole rule of profanity being bad is at best pointless. Maybe both you and I can collectively do research on the matter, right? As stated before, Vsauce did a whole video in the topic, so I think that might be the main basis.
I don't know what it is about them that makes them the worst thing you can be exposed to next to an atomic blast.
An atomic blast, something that once ignited can completely destroy your entire body. Swear words, simple words that at worst could take you off guard, if used haphazardly. I don't think there is a debate here.
But you have to accept and understand that I just don't like those words. It's part of who I am.
And what you are, so be it.
Anyway, that's it for this rant, so until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye. And this is where the video ends, obviously. Now to be fair, you did make a few good points here and there. I don't deny that there are some people out there that will treat profanity as if it's some sort of badge of honor. But other than that, you seemingly failed to give a convincing reason why we'd be better off if we just dropped profanity altogether. Not to mention, no one watches YouTube channels just because they've sworn. Normally they would just overlook all of it and enjoy the content that it presents. Speaking of swearing, I could have sworn, pun intended, that in your Microsoft Sam vs Ubuntu Linux video, somewhere in the video you did reference an episode of a certain show. You're such a stupid horse. When you walk down the street people go, God damn, that is a stupid horse.
No they don't, you jealous weakling.
God damn, that is a stupid OS.
See, Sam was right.
I don't care what you think.
Sound familiar? If you answered yes, then you'd be right.
Cartman, you're such a fat ass that when you walk down the street, people go, God damn it, that's a big fat ass! No, they don't, you jealous weakling!
God damn, that's a big fat ass.
Hey!
South Park, a show practically known mainly for its usage of swearing, is being used as a reference for one of your videos long before the video I commentated in today. Pretty weird for someone who hates swearing, especially when you used a scene with actual swearing. But aside from that, I figured that I should clear up some loose ends. I have no problem with you not liking swearing. I mean, if you want to make content devoid of swearing and you want to appeal to a more general audience, fine. I have no problem with that, I mean as long as it entertains people at least. But, where the video fails is that you treat profanity as if it's some sort of epidemic on YouTube, like it's this big issue on YouTube, when there are more important issues on YouTube, even at the time you made this video, like copyright issues. If you have this mentality, other people, especially in the ranting community, will treat you with the same type of respect they did with Duck89, just saying. Overall, not exactly the sharpest video, and this is proof that the battle against profanity is indeed a losing battle. Anyway, this is Ottomagic Critic, and make sure you flag this video for nudity so that the admins of this site will be forced to watch this video in excitement. See you next time.